Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Magnetic Reversal News, Sacred Geography, and Shinrin Yoku, bringing a grand solar minimum update Wednesday, November 16th, 9 p.m. Mountain Time 2022. Taupo volcano in New Zealand, the earthquake swarm beneath the lake continues, and we'll get to the details in just a moment. The largest Frack quake in recorded history hits Mentone, Texas, the nexus of the schmexus. But the big story, lake effect snow could be record-breaking through Saturday, which is Saturday. Keep calm. It's boom time. It's true. Buffalo, Western New York are bracing for crippling lake effect snow. Around 3 feet of snow is forecast for Buffalo, with 4 feet not out of question. We'll get to the models in a minute. As we take a look at the West Side SnowTel current snow water equivalents, that is the snowpack in the West. And everywhere west of the Rockies is over 100% snowpack. And it's looking good. It's looking good for a drought. Well, a droughty region with much snow. The spring runoff's going to be epic. It's not even winter, and we're packing on 450, 500% of snow water equivalent in many regions in the West. As the total snow mass for the Northern Hemisphere, excluding the mountains, rises. So this is not where we just showed you the snow. Every other place is in record-breaking territory in the Northern Hemisphere. Here's the snowfall analysis from the last 48 hours. You can see 4 inches of snow piling up in the Appalachians from Pennsylvania north up through the Northeast. This is only going to continue to add up. Here we are Thursday, Friday. By Saturday, you're going to have heavy snow and 2 feet or more of that lake effect snow. It's going to continue to pummel the Northeast and build up as the second system Wednesday of next week moves down through the West, bringing more snow. And the snowy pattern will continue through December. Lake effect snow to impact travel. Much colder temperatures for much of the U.S. on the way. Hey, hey. Shut up, Al! Get in your hole! No soup for you. Yeah, we didn't have any bundt cakes, so. A multi-day lake effect snow event downwind of the Great Lakes may produce several feet of record-breaking snow. Travel is expected to be difficult or impossible. Accumulating snow will also be possible for the northern plains and the north and central Rockies. The Canadian cold front will usher in unseasonably cold temperatures all the way down to Florida. Holy macaroni, could be an iguana apocalypse. But stay tuned for more of the boom. As massive hailstorms batter the East Coast, as Antarctic blast sweeps its way across Australia, bringing bitter winds and heavy showers. The east coast of Australia was lashed by wild storms, hail, cold wind on Wednesday. The winter weather comes days after Tasmania received snow, ho-ho, as they enter summer. What a bummer. The weather has been caused by a low-pressure system dragging Antarctic air up towards the Tasmania. It's insania. Yeah, it's summer there. What a bummer. What a bummer of a summer in Tasmania. Now, did you feel it? Earthquake shakes Carlsbad, southern New Mexico. Merchants downtown ask, did you feel it? I didn't feel it. Scientists cite years of injecting sludgy water underground for increased quakes in the Mentone region. And in fact, we had a big boom followed by multiple aftershocks. This is the largest recorded Frack quake in history. Initially kicked off at a 5.3, upgraded to 5.4. Al Gore's aboard. Now, the potential link between the 2020 West Texas M5 earthquake and nearby wastewater injection, well, was proven in this 28 December 2020 paper. And now they didn't stop. No, they didn't. They kept doing the same thing, and we've got another 5.4 kicking off in Mentone. You want to see how disgusting it is? Let's just put on some of the layers, and let's just look at what's going on here in this neck of the woods. And just as I bring it up, do you see the grid of roads here? Yeah, these are all frack wells, oil and fracking interests for hundreds of miles with tens of thousands of miles of roads just to get to some frack pads. Look at the amount of aftershocks from this single deep well injection frack quake. This is the main hub of all the fracking centers here. You can see the little square ponds, wastewater ponds there. And yeah, There's where the big one went off. Aftershocks everywhere around it, all in a region of toxic waste nightmare. Now, this is cracking all the well casings and all these other frack quakes in all these other fracking regions. So what that's doing is it's creating huge methane plume here. So if you're smoking in this region, you might blow up. So read the paper, the potential link between the 2020 Mentone West Texas M5 earthquake and nearby wastewater injection, implications for aquifer mechanical properties, and the toxification of the earth as you know it for the rest of your fucking life. Ambe volcano in Vanuatu, strong SO2 emissions yesterday, raising eyebrows. A large amount of SO2 concentrations in the atmosphere have been recorded from the volcano by the month's satellite-based measurements on the 15th of November. A November to remember. Local residents in northern and southern parts of the island reported the strong smell of sulfur dioxide and heard explosions. Well, Ambe is not a volcano to be with, so stay away. Taupo volcano, another one to stay away from in New Zealand. The earthquake swarm beneath the lake continues. The seismic swarm at the volcano, well, is continuing as the number of earthquakes decreased over the last month to just about 10 to 12 per week. The seismicity has risen over the last 2 weeks to more than 20 per week. And GeoNet New Zealand registered 840 quakes in total since the beginning of 2022. And you can see the slope of that increase is, well, raising eyebrows. And if you live near Taupo, I'm praying for you. Space weather news update. A huge coronal hole will face Earth tomorrow and the next 3 days. And shortly after that, let's say this weekend, Saturday and Sunday will be our fun day as this geomagnetic storm hits Earth. The first geo-effective space weather in a while because, well, guess what? We are at solar max and there's the sun. Quite a pathetic sight. And those people that claim that this would be a strong solar cycle are nothing more than charlatans and selling books. You know who you are, the suspicious one, who claim that this could be the largest solar cycle in history. It's in fact the weakest solar cycle, weaker than solar 24. Not a single person is claiming that, and yet the data is showing that this cycle is far weaker than 24. Here we are here, and here we are there at the same time. Are you picking it up? 50% stronger solar cycle 24 was just 11 years ago at the same time on the cycle. So someone's being duped. NASA's Artemis 1 mission heads to the moon like a boom after a successful launch. Or is it? Could it be going to Mars? I doubt it. NASA launched the Artemis 1 mission from Florida at 1:47 a.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday. It was glorious. And if you come over to the Oppenheimer Ranch Project on Twitter, at Diamond the Dave, that's how you find us, at Diamond the Dave, where you find Oppenheimer Ranch Project, you could scroll down and probably see some of the most amazing updates from news and footage from the day that will keep you, well, questioning if you're alive or not. Check a look. The Earth isn't flat. See that? But what we will glean by searching through our Twitter feed is some amazing footage.
Hydrogen burn-off igniters initiate.
How?
7,
Mega rolling.
6, 5, 4-stage engine
Boom
start.
time.
3, 2, 1. Boosters in ignition.
Yeah,
And
baby.
liftoff of Artemis 1.
The largest
We rise
rocket
together
ever
back to the moon
conceived.
and
Look at how it's
beyond.
barely moving. Holy mackerel.
All 4 RS-25 engines on the core stage and 2 solid rocket
10:27.
boosters
We have
now
an
propelling the
8:43
vehicle at 128 miles
Houston,
per hour.
the Eagle has landed.
Hearing good control on the roll from teams in Mission Control Houston. All good calls so far. Now 30 seconds into the flight of Artemis 1. First milestone.
And here we go.
10.
Hydrogen burn-off igniters
So pretty
initiate.
fantastic
7,
shot there.
6.
Let's just watch
5,
it again. Artemis
4-stage
1
engine start.
successfully
3,
launching.
2, 1. Boosters in
Boom.
ignition.
Just about
And liftoff of Artemis
18
1.
hours ago.
We rise together back to the moon and beyond.
Yeah, so good stuff. Now, other good stuff happening yesterday. One of the first spacewalks in quite some time. They were doing some work outside the International Space Station. I think it might be the first spacewalk ever outside the International Space Station. And it proved, well, what can you guess? That the Earth is not
Rubio
flat.
wore the unmarked suit. The two astronauts installed these struts for the
Take a look at
upcoming
that
rollout
curvature
of 6
they
solar
accidentally
arrays
filmed.
called Arosas, which will boost the space station's power generation by
Very
more than
curvy.
30%.
Look at the
This
curvature
is NASA's
of the Earth.
first
Oh my
spacewalk
goodness.
since March this year.
How dare
following
they?
an incident wherein an astronaut, Matthias Maurer, ended his first spacewalk with water in his helmet. NASA has updated the operational procedures and developed the hardware to help contain any liquid in the helmet. It's called Arosas, which will boost
Again,
the
the Earth
space
is
station's
not
power
flat.
generation by more than 30%.
Breaking news, the curvature of the Earth was accidentally spotted the first time NASA spacewalkers venture outside the International Space Station. The curvature was so extreme, people actually believe that the Earth is a ball. That's a boom. Moving on. I love my job. A Mars probe spotted something weird during a dust storm. Yes, the European Space Agency just spotted some Earth-like clouds more than 53 million miles away from our planet, and they wrote a paper. Cellular patterns and dry convection in textured dust storms at the edge of Mars' North Polar Cap. And this paper just came out. Just like the revelation that Mars is just like Earth, except without the atmosphere and the plants. Now, physicists claim wormholes may have been detected with help from a new theoretical model. Well, how can you detect something with a theoretical model? That's my question. And, well, just like black holes, which are theoretical, wormholes are double theoretical. Polarized image of equatorial emissions in horizonless spacetimes. This is science fiction. Traversable wormholes, also science fiction, which they actually get peer-reviewed in this journal of physics. Absolutely asinine. Now, is the universe controlled by gigantic structures? Yes, it is. And thankfully, some people are actually writing about it. Now, new findings, which are not new in astronomy, are making some astronomers doubt our basic model of the universe. Well, here's the reality. That in the last decade, every single piece of information coming in from the new telescopes are completely opposite of the standard model, which means that scientists have been baffled for some time. And now some scientists are less baffled because as more and more data comes in, they realize how fucking stupid they are. Yes, it's an electric universe. And if you didn't get the memo, we'll fill you in.
It has always been difficult for astronomers to determine where one supercluster ends and another begins. But now a team of astronomers have collected data on thousands of galaxies around us to understand their peculiar motion. The peculiar motion of an object is its motion less that part of its motion associated with the Hubble flow due to the expanding universe.
I need to chime in here. The red areas are objects moving away. The blue areas are moving towards the center. There is no proof of an expanding universe. There is equal amounts of inward movement as outward movement. And the author here is clinging on to the standard model and making himself sound like an idiot. There is no proof of an expanding universe or a Big Bang or a beginning time at 14.8 billion years ago. These are fantasy numbers that are held on by the cabal of religionists using the cosmological standard model. Just like global warmists. Climate change is your fault. Well, so is the Big Bang. The Big Bang hypothesis was invented by a friar in the 1400s. Yes, a Christian theologian supposited that the earth was a Big Bang, and God made it happen. God save us all.
They use this data to identify which galaxies are moving towards us, shown in blue, and which galaxies are moving away from us.
And now the author just proves his point on how stupid he is. Because if it was a Big Bang model, everything would be moving away. But I do digress. What we should be concerned about is the filamentary linkage of all these universes and galaxies and clusters and stars and whatever you want to call them. They're all aligned on threads. Millions and millions of galaxies in this local universe, or whatever you want to call it, Laniakea, are connected by filamentary structures called Birkeland currents, proving not only the electric universe theory or plasma cosmology, but the fact that the standard model is stupid and the accretionary theory is nonsensical, and that everything is collected by electric quartz, called Birkeland currents.
Shown in red. With this data, they were able to create a map of the paths galaxies are migrating along. These paths are called cosmic flows.
No, they're not. They're called Birkeland currents. And they're not flowing on them. They're being created on the filamentary structures at z-pinches.
Using this motion, they came up with a new way to map the distribution of matter in the universe. In our segment on the Virgo supercluster, we counted the Virgo galaxy cluster and a few hundred others as our local supercluster. But using this new technique, we see that the Virgo supercluster is part of a much larger structure that is 100 times larger and more massive.
Now, the structure you're looking at is literally 10,000 light years wide, 15,000 in each direction. And it shows a filamentary structure which is very similar to the neural networks in a brain. It's insane. But Laniakea, our local area in the universe, well, it shows clear patterns of Birkeland currents and electrical charge, as well as magnetohydrodynamics in ways that we've never been able to visualize.
The astronomers who made this discovery have named the new supercluster Laniakea, Hawaiian for immeasurable heaven. Here is an illustration of Laniakea, along with Perseus Pisces, an adjacent supercluster. The boundary is where the supercluster objects are shearing apart, like the North American Great Divide separates water flowing to the Atlantic Ocean from water flowing to the Pacific Ocean.
Or perhaps this is a magnetohydrodynamic situation, where electrodynamics are equally distributed throughout the gigantic 30,000 light-year region. I think I just proved my point, didn't I? Positive and negative, it's like a bar magnet, only much bigger. A hell of a lot bigger. Now, toroidal plasmoid generation via extreme hydrodynamic shear has been proven in a paper in 2017 and has been proven again at a plasma scale of 30,000 light years. But we're going to bring it down a little smaller and talk about free energy and the plasmoid proteum power, which we're trying to get out to the masses, but we've been constantly shut down. But on page 9 here, which is the most important page, where is it? Damn it. I knew I'd never be able to find it. You're going to look at how it works. Yes, that's the injector fuel power. And it's coming from, well, the Ronc-Hilsch vortex tube. The vortex tube, also known as the Ronc-Hilsch vortex tube, is a mechanical device that separates a compressed gas into hot and cold streams. The gas emerging from the hot end can reach temperatures, well, I'll let you read the rest because we don't want to get demonetized. Now, Yale and Harvard law schools withdraw from the U.S. news rankings. You know why? Because they're bought and paid for by governments worldwide to push a narrative that is not true. Who knew? Now you do. Citing flaws in the way the ratings are determined based on facts, the school said they will stop participating because they need more Black and Asian students. They didn't say that, but they definitely need more Black and Asian students. Now, FTX collapse. Tom Brady, Steph Curry, and Mr. Wonderful are in big trouble. Have you heard? They all promoted a product that was a Ponzi scheme for the Democrats and milked 1 million people on Earth out of their entire life savings. How sad are they? Well, not as sad as the same day that happened, global banks partner with New York Fed for a 12-week digital dollar pilot. Something is afoot here. It's all connected and it's all a scam. They're going to go from decentralized crypto to centralized crypto. Mark my words. Every single transaction will be monitored, recorded in perpetuity. And we're all fluxed. Hopefully the sun takes them out before they take us out. And that's a boom to knowledge. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance. Hope you got something out of the video. We went long tonight. Big shout out to all our Patreons. Without you, I am not doing all of these videos. I just can't simply afford to do it. So please consider giving $1 a month for commercial-free access to every single production we make over at Patreon. If you don't have any money, we love you too. Support our work by being a hero and share this video. Without you, we could not grow. And that's a ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. One other word of note, we're going to be in Crestone this weekend. So Leo and I are going to be at Crestone, Colorado this weekend, Sunday, especially all day at the T Road Brewing Company in the parking lot, which is just downtown Crestone. You can't miss us for WinterFest, one of the biggest events in Crestone, Colorado annually, where we're going to feed up to 1,500 people Thanksgiving dinner for free. And you're welcome to join. Bring a pot, bring your heart and your home to the most amazing spiritual location on earth, Crestone, Colorado. This Sunday in Crestone, the date is the 20th. And we'll be in Crestone from the 19th to the 21st. We're going to be hanging out with all the cool peeps in Crestone. So come join us on Sunday at Crestone WinterFest, where there'll be booths and vendors and free food. If you come, bring a dish. We're going to be feeding 1,500 people, all kinds of turkey and side dishes. Leah's going to bring her jewelry. I'm going to have free cannabis. I'm going to bring pounds of different varieties of cannabis. This is the first reveal of all the cannabis we grew this year. It's all free for the public. I'll also have seeds, bullion, knives, and Leah's going to have her jewelry. Come check us out in Crestone at the WinterFest, and that's a boom. We love you. Be safe. See you Sunday.